Hi Sagittarius, even though in August we are closing the eclipse season, that's not the focus of my reading for you. With you, I can dare to be adventurous, I can dare to be different. So your reading is going to be a little bit different from the other signs, actually, very different from other signs. I will touch upon the eclipses which just ended because the effect of the eclipses will last for the next 6 months. But you are a mutable sign, you adapt to changes. So eclipses that just happened to you, they just flow with you. You're not a fixed sign. You're an adaptable, mutable sign. So you just change with the eclipses, just grow with them. Especially these set of eclipses, they were in positive aspect with you, so they just added things to you. I have some new information to share with you, and that's what I want to spend my time with you on. It's about your ruling planet paying a visit to the brightest star in Libra constellation, a very rare event. It's about how you're planning to create your wealth in coming years, how your health and family is benefiting from the beautiful kite configuration that's very, very fated and very unique, that's forming and directly benefiting you next week at the end of the month of August. So let's dig in. Let's start from Jupiter. Jupiter is your ruling planet, and it's about to enter your sign in November 8th. Mark that date because that's the date when the cycle changes. A new 12-year cycle starts when your ruling planet, and something as benefic and as positive as Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, higher knowledge, positivity, and it's going into your sign at its full strength. The blessings are about to come from November 8th. But what happens before the cycle, this 12-year cycle is about to start, is that the previous 12-year cycle has got to come to an end. So you are in a period of endings. You are in a period of getting over with karma, getting over with closing a 12-year cycle that you are in middle of, that you are at the end of. So when Jupiter is in this house, it's about hidden pursuits. It's about being behind the scene. It's about doing things that are not visible to the world. It's bringing out your raw, sensitive side that normally is hidden from the world, and you're more raw, more sensitive, more compassionate during this time. But it's time to clear the deck. It's time to clear the deck before your ruler comes home. Because what happens is that Jupiter is a planet of expansion, so it's going to expand whatever is going to be visible for it when the cycle starts in November. So before the cycle starts, you only want positive things to be expanded and not negative things to be expanded. So you have to clear out the negativity before that cycle starts. You have to clear out any people, any things, any feelings, any places or thoughts or jobs or relatives or relationships or deep ingrained behavior that is not serving you, that will make it counterproductive for you, because you don't want those fears, those people, those negative people, places, thoughts, and ingrained behavior to expand when Jupiter comes in your sign. So Jupiter has a natural spring cleaning exercise that you're in middle of, and it's not an easy exercise, but that's what you have to do. This cycle is at its highest manifestation. uh, when it's not at its highest manifestation, it might encourage some nefarious, deceitful activities. So I want to warn you about that, because when Jupiter is in hidden pursuits, now hidden pursuits could be you just working behind the scene very hard on your next project or the next job or the next business or that you're about to launch come 2019. But it could also be some hidden relationships because you're reeling under raw nerves. As I said, you're very raw and sensitive right now because let's accept it, letting go, and even if you're a mutable sign, letting go and things being taken away from you is not an easy time. So when you are in that raw sensitive position, you might get involved in some of the things that you're not proud of. So we do end up doing things in the 12th house, in the last house, that we are sometimes not proud of. That's why it's the house of undoing. So I want to warn you about that. You feel that when Jupiter is having its benefic light on you, it's in an angel house, you feel that you can get away with it. That's just the general feeling at the time. There's nothing wrong with having keeping a romance under the wraps, for example, But doing somebody wrong is in general not great karma, but during this time you got to be very careful, because things, when Jupiter moves into your sign, positive or negative things will expand and come to light. So just be careful of that. um, Careful to stick to your higher values, your normal higher values. You take a high road normally, so just remember to stick to the high, to your high road, even though the time might look very sensitive, very raw at this time. You're clinging for support because you're cleaning the closet, you're cleaning out, the skeletons are coming out, you're trying to get things out of the way, which means endings. So, new beginnings, there's got to be some endings. So, this month, your ruler, now the main thing, the new knowledge or the new information that I wanted to share with you is about a fixed sign, a fixed star. Now, I normally don't talk about fixed stars in my reading, but this was something critical for you happening this month. Now, your ruler is going to traverse the southern scale. This is the Libra constellation. In sidereal, right now, Jupiter is in Libra and it's traversing the constellation which is named Libra. Now, let's not get confused about whether it is in Scorpio or Libra. Let's just say that it's visiting a star of balance. It is visiting an Alpha Libra star right now in the constellation of scales. Now that's exact on 13th of August, though it will be within its 1 or 2 degrees for throughout this month. And that's not it's not a common occurrence. The planets usually don't occult this star often. It's very rare. It's the brightest star of this constellation. Now, as I said, I don't normally talk about fixed stars in my reading, but I'm going to read out of what is said of the star, because I've thought this was so pertinent to the cycle that you are in right now. This star is designed to assist individuals in finding peace in their relationships by balancing the the forces of aggression and control. Now, these aggressive and controlling forces cause disruptive action and damage. So there's a very deep necessity right now to find the balance in your relationships. It's about finding inner harmony and independence while also strengthening our relationship with our spirit guides. It has ability to support experiences of deep self-acceptance through self-nurturing, self-love, while bringing forth new concepts and ideas for relating. You have to focus on being just for all. That's what the star meeting your ruling planet is all about. It's about doing the right thing. It's about doing the right thing, weighing your heart with mind. Because of its placement in the constellation, it's considered to mark the place between a great ending and a great beginning. How apt for you, as I think that's where you stand. So this in Sanskrit, in ancient Indian history, this place in constellation is called Tula. Tula is a place of balance. It's a place of peace and balance. So Tula is a place and a process of becoming. In Tula, our thoughts, desire, or fears will become instantly real. As I said to you earlier in the reading, you have to be very careful with what are you bringing to your mind, to your life come November. So any fears, including any fears, any negative desires and thoughts that you're bringing, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scare you, but this is very critical time when your ruling sign is transiting from the ending to the beginning. This time is very critical for you, and it's not just critical in terms of what you're doing externally. The internal process is very, very important. That's why I am going through the texts of Indian history of astrology and of Arabic stars to convey the message of where we stand. This is the place of peace and balance. Tula is a place and process of becoming. In Tula, our thoughts, desire, or fears will become instantly real. What is in our hearts cannot remain hidden. What is there in the heart is what's seen in the world. Your heart will become open to the world. Only love can flow through our hearts in Tula. This is William Henry, who covers this in detail if you're interested in his book. Now, the constellation of scales and how the historical texts they describe this specific point is the point between death and rebirth. So this is the point where if you believe in any religion or have any faith on the historical texts, it's a point where the heart is weighed to determine what your next step is going to be. So whether you call it karma point, in Indian ancient history, it's called the karmic point. It's the karmic point of justice. And that's what this star represents. That's what this point represents. But the downfall of this point is, and of this star is, because of the positioning of where Jupiter is right now and what this point represents, it encourages deceit. It encourages dishonesty. It encourages hypocrisy and being cheated by your partners, especially business partners. So you have to be very careful. This is the house of hidden enemies. You may not be seeing your hidden enemies right now, and this cycle is about realizing who your true friends and your enemies are as well. The balance of being just to other people applies to you as well. As I said, it's a cycle of being just to all, being just for all, not just to your relations and your family, who definitely deserves to be treated justly. It's about treating yourself justly as well. So you have to be very careful. Are you being deceived? Are you being cheated? Is there a hypocrisy, dishonesty, or cheating being involved by your business partner? Try to see that, because you tend to stay at the high road, but other people are on the ground. I'm not asking you to get down to their level. That is not at all the message of this reading or of the cycle, but you have to open your eyes. Use this time to repair a relationship and to reconsider if you have made any harsh judgments as well. Again, I'm not asking you to buy back the skeletons, because the cycle is about letting demons go, letting bygones be gone. But if you have applied harsh judgment, rash judgment, over emotional judgment, which is not your normal trait, but this being in this cycle could make you do that. Review that. Being engaged in any marital, business, judicial relationships, if you are in a committed relationship, if you're in a committed married or business relationship, or you are in a position of making a judgment on somebody, keep your head and heart clear. Because as I said, this point, the downfall or the negative manifestation of this Jupiter in 12th as well as of this point is sometimes deceit, is sometimes dishonesty. So just try to keep that in mind. I thought this was a very important messaging. I have been seeing readings for ages, but I have never seen this come out. So I just wanted to bring that out to you. I don't mean to say that any of you or any of I'm a progress Sagittarius myself. So I'm not saying that this implies any negativity, any nefarious activity happening, but you got to be warned both about yourself as well as of other people who are in your life. Now, the 11th of August eclipse that happened was in 18-degree Leo. This happened in your karma house, in your 9th house. So it was all about acquiring new knowledge, new philosophy. So philosophy is a very important messaging of this month. Beyond what I just discussed with you, eclipse was also about imparting a new philosophy to you, or a new higher education. This is also about education, acquiring new skills, new education, higher education, because you're moving on to better things in life. So before you do that, you're trying to get your philosophy right, you're trying to get your education right, and this is the trend for the next 6 months. And this is your core house. As I said, the eclipses this season are not in negative energy with you. They are there to support you. So this Leo trines you. It's your fellow fire sign. So when you have an eclipse eclipse in Leo, it adds a skill to you, it adds an education to you, it brings out an opportunity to add education to you, it brings out an opportunity to have a new mentor for you, it brings out probably something positive. If your father is a mentor figure, it brings out a positivity in that relationship, or a new activity in your father's life, which is positive. This came with full awareness because it came with Mercury, which is the planet of communication. So you've been talking and discussing what your philosophy should be going forward. You've been reviewing your philosophy. You've been reviewing whether you need further education. All of those things have been a topic of discussion, but it came with its own set of confusion because Mercury was not moving forward. So come 19th of August, Mercury starts moving forward, and you have clarity on what your philosophy is, what kind of education you should go on to. It takes about a week for Mercury to garner speed and come out of the shadow phase. So give it a week, you'll have your answers, you'll have full information of what this blessing was supposed to be about. So and as soon as it comes out of shadow, Mercury makes a very positive aspect called sextile with Venus on the same day, on 19th of August as well. Now Venus is a planet of harmony, beauty, wealth as well, and it's right now traversing your sector of social networks. So you have a very good period this month to create social networks, and I'll explain. This is the second point that I talked about in the introduction, which is how are you going to make your next level of wealth. Now starting partnerships with foreign people is very much encouraged for you, and I'll explain why. So Mercury is currently in your ninth house. Ninth house is all about foreign places. It's about conversing how you can make these foreign places work for you monetarily. When Venus joins this planet on 19th and stays there till 21st, it's about going and getting a sponsorship for you from a foreign person who could potentially become your partner in your business going forward. And I'll explain why you need partner, because you are moving into a new benefactor sponsor led wealth phase for the next 2 years. So with the way the nodes will move in November from 2019 onwards, all your eclipses and all of your forward movement will be driven by sponsors. You are moving away from your day-to-day work because Uranus is sitting in your day-to-day work. So there is a very high chance, especially early or November born Sagittarius, that you would have seen a shock in your work sector. You would have seen the inkling to change the work that you're doing. You would have seen the inkling to make your wealth in another way, because Uranus is sitting in this sector and it has come to Taurus, your your work and health sector, after about 84 years. So any of us have never seen this phase of Uranus come into your health and day-to-day work sector, but that's what it did in May, and it's there to stay for the next 7 years. And you'll see evolution in how you do your day-to-day work. What kind of work do you engage in? More importantly, when Venus is sitting in your house, blessing you on your networks, it is such a perfect time to find that sponsor. I want you to take advantage of the cycle. I want you to take advantage of the coming 2 to 3 weeks to make that work for you. If you have been paying attention last month in terms of being active in the social network, you might have seen some inkling of this next 2 year cycle that I'm talking about, where you benefit through your benefactors or through talents of other people. You benefit not solely by your own, because you're moving away from making money because of working alone, on your own, working hard at your job. That stuff is still going on. Saturn is there in your wealth sector, so you're going to keep on working on making more money. Money will also seem tight right now. It would feel, because you don't know the sources of your upcoming money. Where will it come from? You don't know that right now. Saturn and Pluto, they are both sitting in your wealth sector. So they're trying to make you work very, very hard on making the money. It is not coming easy. Let's accept that. Saturn sitting in the second house, money will not come easy right now. So when and that's to continue for the next 2 years. You will continue. I'm not saying that wealth is not going to come in the next 2 years, because the aim of this 2 year Saturn cycle of making you work very hard on your money is to finally manifest big wealth for you. But the point to pay attention right now is find your sponsor, find the people whose talents you're going to leverage to make this money. Just be careful of the deceit factor that I told you earlier. Just be careful of any hidden enemies that you might be taking on while you're getting, while the time with partnership for partnership is great. Just be careful of that. Now, Mars is also in your money sector, so there is a lot of effort being put over there beyond the 2 year Saturn cycle in your money sector. This period specifically for the next 1 month, starting from 12th of August till 10th of September, you'll see a lot of your energies being put into reviewing your financial positioning, how you're going to earn the money. Maybe there's a business contract on the table. Maybe there's a big purchase that is on the table as well. Now be careful of that at this stage. Let the planets go direct, and then September is a better time if you're making any big purchase to put in that amount of money, and use this time to review your budget and evaluate the purchase target essentially. Apart from the money and the partnership sector, there's a very positive period starting for you, specifically from 19th of August. Now, as I said, the second half of the month is very, very positive, starting from 19th of August specifically, because Neptune and Jupiter are coming in a very rare trine with each other in your psychological houses, giving you hope, giving you feeling of content, especially with your family. So if there have been any losses in your family or any loss of relationship with your family, there's a deep healing that is coming your way with that aspect. Now, this aspect will not be repeated for the next 150 years. It's one of the best aspects to have, and especially to have with your ruler involved in it. It personally involves you. Jupiter is currently in Scorpio. Neptune is there in Pisces. So it's water energy. It's very emotional. It's very healing. It's just pure happiness coming your way. A very well deserved one. It's also generosity. So if you engage in giving anything to other people, this cycle really encourages you to do that. Now, one thing that is really coming up as well, with both Saturn being in your second house, Mars being in your second house, and then there is an aspect which is forming, which is Pluto and Jupiter are going to work in positive energy. This is the third time that they're coming together. The last time it came together was in January, then in April, and now in September. It's a very rare aspect of Jupiter and Pluto working in positive energy with each other. They are trying to change your diet. There's no other way to say it. Uranus is currently sitting in your health sector, so you can expect over the next 6-7 years your diet has to change. There has to be something innovative, something new that you should proactively add to your diet. And this aspect, which is going to be more strong in September, is encouraging a detox in the real sense. A natural detox is already going on, but this is more about having a detox in your diet. Now, Uranus in sixth encourages you to change your diet. Saturn in second limits your food naturally. So the cycle naturally encourages you to reduce harmful things that you might have been eating, getting away from anything that might come in the way of you being successful in the coming 12 years. That's what the cycle is about. So Jupiter rules your liver. So be careful about drinking too much during this time. Also, when Jupiter moves into your sign in November, telling from personal experience, weight gain happens. So you can expect that next year to happen. Before that, therefore it's time to already change your diet, restrict whatever you can, don't drink too much, and stay away from too much sugar. Oh, this is not a good reading, right? Sorry about that. So next, on 23rd of August, Sun moves away from Leo to Virgo, and the focus comes into your work. There's more and more focus over the next 1 month. So August and September, there'll be a lot more focus on your work, because that's where Sun will be shining. But there's a very positive configuration called Grand Earth Trine, which is forming on 26th of August, where Sun in your work sector combines with Saturn working hard on making money, makes a positive aspect to Uranus, which is making you free and change something at in your work sector. So these three planets work in positive energy with each other, and the result is a material, tangible manifestation in your work sector, and the energy flows into your 10th house of work. You gain something by making some changes in your day-to-day work, by bringing some new energy in your work, either by switching jobs or by changing what you do, or doing something innovative in your existing project. And this combination gives you a very sweet respite, a very sweet redemption in terms of all the work that you've been putting in over the course of last 1 year. Now, this specifically benefits November born Sagittarian, but it's valid for across all of you, because it's such a beautiful energy. It impacts a very important axis in your chart. So all of you should see a positive infusion of energy into your work sector coming through with that. Now, this does not come alone. It comes with an opposition. So on 26th of August, you have a full moon in Pisces, which is a water sign. It's intuitive and it's focused on your work, on your home sector. So there's an opposition. A grand earth trine, which is what just happened on 26th of August, is normally a very easy flow energy. It makes a very feel good energy come to life, although it is an earth sector, so you should see a manifestation of it. But a grand earth trine even needs a trigger. It needs an opposition, so it doesn't become just a lazy feel good energy. You need an opposition for its full effect to come into being, and hence there is a very rare kite configuration which will make the energy. Imagine a bowl of fire and something that sucks that energy up and flows it into the direction that you need. That's what this full moon is, because the moon and the sun are opposing each other, and the sun is making a grand trine with Uranus and Saturn. So the opposition between your work life and your family life, and thereby the light that is thrown on your family and you actually taking care of your family, and the previous Jupiter Neptune transit helped you do that as well, bring healing to your family life. If there was some hurt that has happened in your family, all of that, and there has been friction with the amount of time you're spending at work versus your family, all of that opposition just makes you work hard on both the fronts, and you see the fruits of that coming on both the axes, on coming on your work sector as well as your family sector. You see a sweet ending of this month through this kite configuration, because kite configurations are fated beneficial aspects which happen and bring something positive to the axis, which is your family life, and the grand trine by default will give something positive in your work life as well. Early Sagittarius, as I said, will be the ones which will be most benefited by that, but early Sagittarius are also the ones who have been suffering through the effect of Saturn, not suffering but working very, very hard because of Saturn being transiting either their sun or their moon or coming onto their ascendant. So this is a very good period for the next 2 weeks, starting from 26th of August. Enjoy the fruits, spend time with your family, recharge your soul, and we'll meet back in September, because next 2 years are all going to be about making money and finances. So enjoy this period with your family, and I'll talk to you in September. I hope you enjoyed this reading. It was a little bit of a different format. I really, really appreciate your feedback, your comments, your subscriptions and likes. Many thanks for that. Thank you.